Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Beaky from the Elder Scrolls Legends Central, and for you guys today on August 23rd, 2017, we'll be going over the recent patch notes for patch 6.6.1 from Bethesda and Direwolf. There's been a lot of changes to a bunch of very important cards like Supreme Acromancer, Soul Tier, and so on and so forth. We're going to be going all over that very soon because a lot of those changes will be affecting the meta for sure, and as well there's been some big changes and bug fixes coming to the game that many players will be happy with as well. We'll start off with the bug fixes very quickly before getting into the card changes. Now, a card that we've all probably wanted to play with recently but really can't justify it is Shadowmere. Shadowmere was a really cool card when it first came out in the Dark Brotherhood expansion, but it got broken and it wasn't returning back to our deck. So now Shadowmere will work properly. It has been fixed and it should work great, and I can't wait to add it back into some of my decks to have some fun with this little dangerous horse right here. Let's move on from there. Another interesting update and, well, kind of fix is Champion Hairbringer. Now, this werewolf right here has his effect now trigger before any prophecies could be activated. Now, that might sound a little interesting. What does that even mean? Let's say you're facing your opponent, right? Use Hairbringer to attack your opponent and break a rune. Now, you broke a rune, you have another werewolf on the field. That werewolf has 4 health, right? Right when you break a rune, your opponent beforehand was able to play, let's say, a lightning bolt and hit your other creature for 4, killing it. But now Hairbringer's effect, where it gives friendly werewolves +1 health and +1 attack, will activate immediately on the breaking of that rune, making sure that now that creature will have 5 health. So even if your opponent gets like a lightning bolt from that prophecy, it will not be able to kill your other werewolf. A very interesting change, and I'm glad to see it actually happening, making werewolves kind of even a little bit more dangerous if you really think about it, because now you're gonna be like, oh crap, I gotta be kind of careful. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know about that one. Let's keep on moving on to some other changes that are coming to the game. Let's talk about Mage Trick. Now, Mage Trick is one of those little interesting cards that was added in Heroes of Skyrim that I really like playing with. I love how it looks. It literally the spell guy's doing a heal spell and doing an attack spell in his hands. It really fits in with the game. So what's the fix on here? Well, Mage Trick can now successfully be used on yourself to break your own rune. So now you can actually use Mage Trick correctly, because before it was bugged, to attack yourself using Mage Trick and break your own rune and still gain health. So this is going to be very useful definitely for control mage, or basically anybody who's playing the mage, like if you're playing a mage deck, that's really useful. Break your own rune and still gain some health, and you get a free draw. That's going to be definitely something I can't wait to see a lot of people use that for. I know that's going to probably win some games, in fact, so we'll definitely have to watch out for that one coming up very soon, because I know for a fact I've used Lightning Bolt, Crushing Blow to break my own rune to get a card to win a game. I've done it yesterday during my live stream, so can't wait to try it out using Mage Trick. Alright, let's move on to some other new updates for the game. Alright, let's talk about Brilliant Experiment. Now, this one right here needed to be fixed because there's a lot of different silence bugs in this game. If you guys haven't seen my recent posts on Reddit or on my YouTube channel about a silence bug I ran into with turning a creature into a guard using the elixir, well, this one is also annoying. Now, Brilliant Experience is Brilliant Experiment. A silenced creature no longer gives you copying a silenced creature no longer gives you a silenced creature, basically, by using Brilliant Experiment. So it was really annoying. Let's say you were copying Little Girl, right? If you copied Little Girl with Brilliant Experiment, it would have gave you a silenced version of Little Girl, which would have been no use for you because Little Girl couldn't then turn into Ageless Vampire. So they fixed that, but there's still a lot of different silence bugs I've seen in the game that still needs to be fixed. So hopefully Bethesda's working on those behind the scenes as well. I'm definitely going to be checking out and testing some of those other silence glitches that I know and see if they have been fixed in the patches notes, but, well, kind of wasn't really said. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but I'm going to be testing that stuff out. Let's move on from there. Thieves' Den also works well. Thieves' Den now works with creatures that have been silenced. So before, if your creature was silenced, Thieves' Den wouldn't work properly. So now Thieves' Den has actually been updated to work correctly. And if you guys don't know what Thieves' Den is, for the new players out there, that's what Thieves' Den looks like. Alright, let's keep it moving on. And from there we have Eclipse Baroness, which is a really cool card. Let's look at it right here. And Thieves Guild Recruit, one of the most played cards in Legends. now both of their effects will trigger properly. So if you ever use a combo with Wish Mother and Thieves Guild Recruit and only got one card drew because of Thieves Guild Recruit, that should not happen anymore. Their effects getting triggered multiple times at the same exact time should definitely happen. So from now on, these two cards will work a lot better and make them way more valuable than they already are. And we already know Thieves Guild Recruit is a very valuable card, so I can't wait to see Wish Mother, Thieves Guild Recruit being played a lot more again, because we haven't seen those combos in a few months. So can't wait to see that one get played once more. So let's keep on moving on to some other things. Now, another card that used to get played a lot, especially in closed beta, that hasn't got much love is Whirlwind Duelist and Dragon Rider. So both of these cards should actually respond properly to when they receive items. Now, let's say throughout Corsair ship. So if Corsair ship's on the field and you play a Whirlwind Duelist, her effect should happen immediately. Same with Dragon Rider. So there's been glitches and bugs with that for the last few weeks, and now that's finally been taken care of. So thankfully, Bethesda and Direwolf have recognized that these cards are valuable to players, and they've went ahead and fixed the interactions with other cards that give them items. So that's very good as well. I'm sure we're going to be seeing this card get played a lot, man. This card used to get played so much, but not lately because of its bug. Alright, so now with the bugs out of the way, let's go talk about the drama stuff. This is where people are going to be really upset or really happy. Let's talk about this card changes. Now, before we get into the card changes, it's very important to note for the new players. As many of you guys know, my channel is very heavily focused at new players joining the game who might have questions and be a little confused. If you own any of the cards that have gotten changed, you will have an opportunity to get your soul gems back if you went ahead and soul summoned these cards. You'll have until September 9th to do this. So let's say, let me show you guys the newest one. Let's talk about Supreme Acromancer. Just real quick, Supreme Acromancer went from 9 Magicka to 10. Let's say if you're a new player and you went ahead and soul summoned 3 copies of Supreme Acromancer. By September 10th, you could go ahead and soul trap it and get back your full value of 1,200 soul gems. That is very, very important to you. I know some people might want to go ahead and do that. But before you go and do that, for at least for Supreme Acromancer, don't. This card is still the best card in the game. Personally, it's in my opinion here. I think Supreme Acromancer was the best card in the game before, and I still think it's the most powerful card in the game, and I still think it's the most powerful card in the game still. Just my opinion there, and I've made videos on explaining why this card was just so valuable and why it still is even after this change. Let's talk about that. So a lot of people are gonna say this is a big nerf, and it is. For the meta overall, it's a big nerf right here, because Supreme Acromancer is now going to be costing you 10 to summon. So that whole entire strategy of maybe being able to play Supreme Acromancer on turn, let's say you play her on turn 11. Let's say you played it on turn 11. Now you could play a 2-cost Shrieking Harpy and another creature and another 1-cost creature to win the game. That's like something normally. Now in general, you're only probably going to be able to play 1 creature after playing a Supreme Acromancer if you have 12 Magic. If you have 12 Magic, play a Supreme Acromancer, you probably are most likely going to only play a 2-cost Shrieking Harpy or another type of creature like that. I'm just talking about creatures that normally would be played right after a Supreme Acromancer because of the magical cost in those type of decks. Does it suck that this happens? Yes, but most games I play against decks that are mid-range assassins or so on usually end with this combo. So I think by increasing the cost, I really do agree with the developer. This is going to change up how people play the game a lot, because you can't depend on Supreme Acromancer to win with. Like, you can't do the Supreme Acromancer and using like 0-cost Northern Firebrand combo as easily nowadays. It's going to take a little longer, more magic, it'll make the game last a little longer, and you can. It's just I think it's an okay change to me. That's all I really want to say with this. I don't think it's going to break the game. I think it's perfectly fine for how powerful this card is. It's still going to get played. This is not going to make this card unplayable. There's no way somebody's going to take this out of their deck because of this 1 magic increase. It's still a very viable card. It just really is. And I bet you a lot of players feel like the magic increase is not enough to stop this card. I bet you some players would have wanted it to only summon 1 creature instead of summoning 2. And that's what I see some nerfs people probably wanted from this card to be nerfed. For me, it's basically the same thing. Gonna keep it in the decks that it's been in. Not gonna soul trap any of them. I think it's fine. I think they can make the game even better, because it's not going to be able to win the game as easily nowadays, because at least you know that in most times, I'm talking about turn 12 here, somebody has Supreme Acromancer on the field, and they usually could summon like at least 2 monsters. It's going to be a little harder to summon 2 monsters. They're probably only going to get one monster, a Shrieking Harpy, or something else on the field to do that extra 2 damage by summoning a creature. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but I still think it's gonna be a very valuable card. That's my opinion there, guys. Alright, let's move on from there. Another very controversial one, you got Solitaire. So Solitaire is one of those cards that people have been, well, discussing a lot. Actually, one of my subscribers and mods, my mod on Twitch, Andy's Mod, made a post on Reddit about Solitaire and how he felt that the card was really bad for the game in the current state and needed to be adjusted or rebalanced. It's not that the card was completely the most broken thing ever, it just needed to be rebalanced. And a lot of people in that discussion said it's really the combo between Solitaire and Parthenax was the broken thing, because you could play Solitaire, replay Parthenax, and get another Solitaire. But this change doesn't affect that at all. Like, that combo doesn't, like, anybody using Solitaire with Parthenax, that's a late game combo. That's not going to stop. Most people playing Ram Scout, which I've been playing a lot lately, well, that's not stopping this at all. I'm still going to be able to use Solitaire with Parthenax. I'm still going to be able to use Solitaire with a Haven or any other cards, or even throw in Hiss Mage if I needed Pump Magica to play out a, let's say, Hiss Grove to get activated. All that still works late game. This really just hurts people like Warriors. This is where I see this comes in. If you use the Warrior deck, then use Solitaire, and the decks that I have that are Warrior decks that use Solitaire, I'm going to have to rethink if it's viable to use Solitaire in that deck if I'm not pumping up Magica now. It's going to be the early game use of Solitaire that's going to be really affected by this. And that's where I said in the discussion, I'm okay with this change. This change for me in no way is going to stop me from using Solitaire in my Scout decks. It's not going to stop me using Solitaire in any deck, other decks that I use Solitaire in either. I'm just going to have to really test it 100% sure for except for Warriors. Warriors are one where I'm just a little hesitant, because I kind of play a rush heavy Warrior when I use Solitaire. But besides that, everywhere else, I think it's going to be still fine. Now, some people wanted Solitaire to work more like something like Unrelenting Force, where, you know, at first time you use it only could resummon a creature that costs 3 or below. Then the next time you use it, level 2, it could resummon, well, not resummon, I guess, put back in your hand. Sorry about the terms. It's put back in your hand, not summon. Put back in your hand a creature that is 6 or lower, and then like a third time it put back in your hand a creature that costs anything, like that. Sorry about my voice, guys. I'm a little sick, and I just came from being out since 3 a.m. So it's like about to be 24 hours, well, over 12 hours since I've been up. Let's say it like that. All right, guys, let's move on from there. So me personally, zero problem with this. I like Solitaire, and I'm gonna keep on using it. That's just my opinion on that one. Now let's get where I think this is Shieldbreaker. I made a video about Shieldbreaker 2 weeks ago, and in that video I was just praising how powerful and how strong this card is, and basically the developers think it's a little too powerful. Let's actually talk about exactly what they said. This is what the developers have to say. Shieldbreaker pushes a very uninteractive, aggressive deck that tries to attack its opponents at every opportunity. Pushing it to 3 costs will encourage players to play more interactive, aggressive decks. So it's basically saying that they want people to remove those guards, like destroy them using maybe Fell of the Mighty if it's a powerful guard with 4 damage, or using a card if you're playing a Crusader, maybe using a Piercing Javelin to get rid of the guards. They don't want players to be able to do these Shieldbreakers go so early in the game. And I mean, because of Shieldbreakers, I've seen so many games end at turn 5 just because of how removing those guards early game could really push to victory against Scouts, against Monk decks that use Hive Defenders. Like a good made deck with red with Shieldbreaker could be very decisively dangerous. So I understand why they did this, but still, it's going to make me hard playing Shieldbreaker. It's not going to stop me from playing the card. It's just going to make me rethink about how many I might have one in a deck. And I'm about to see. This is really one I'm going to have to test on. I'm not happy with this change. I don't think Shieldbreaker was too aggressive. I really don't. I mean, it's okay to have aggressive decks in this meta, and I think that's fine. And I think that what Shieldbreaker did was interesting as well. I mean, I like having people having to try to deal with that situation. I mean, I don't think this needed to happen, but I know why they did it. Their explanation was justified in their own sense. They know the data behind the scene. I'm just not happy with it. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about the Shield Breaker change here. Let's move on from there. Alright, another one I'm super not happy with is Imprison. My token deck that you guys might have seen if you watched my Draw Bedford video from yesterday, which I will just put up the thumbnail for you guys right now. So if you guys want to go check that one out, which uses Imprison heavily to try to win the matches because it needs to clear monsters. So this is basically my token deck that I played right over here, right there. That deck, you know, with that, as you guys will see from the win rate if you watch that video, it's great. It's like, it's a rank worthy token deck. I love everything about it. Imprison was one of the key cards in that deck, and now Imprison costs 2. Does that make Imprison unplayable? Hell no. Hells no. But I'm just not happy about it. I don't think it needed to happen because before you could even use Imprison to remove a creature, you have to get 4 willpower creatures out. Your opponent still had to be able to have let you do that. Your opponent would have not had to it took setting up. I think cards that take setting up like this is okay at 1 cost. So I'm not happy with it. I'm still going to be playing Imprison just like how I'm going to still be playing Solitaire, but I'm just not happy with this change personally. That's just my opinion there. Let me know what you guys think. I think that most people who play token decks will still keep it Imprison in there as well. I don't think this card is unplayable in any single way. It just sucks. that's what I'm busting. You know what it feels like? They did the Imprison and they did the Shield Breaker change to slow down aggro decks even more, because that's what really happened here. Aggro decks have been slowed down a lot. Even with the Supreme Acromancer and using like 0 cost cards have been slowed down a lot. Like if you talk about assassins and playing with like the 0 cost goblin to play it out, or whatever cards you might be trying to use with Supreme Acromancer to get her effect to happen as quickly as possible by summoning monsters. Anything that slows that down kind of slows down. I'm not trying to say that Supreme Agromancer is straight up an aggro card, because it's not really. It's a very strategic card. It has lots of different ways of playing it, but it can be used in aggro decks that will wait until turn 10 to really turn 9 and now turn 10 to really get the best effect out of it. And if you look at what's going on right now, which we'll talk about with the rest of the changes, let's talk about this one real quick, and then we'll just do a little summarize, which you guys will see. This really seems to have punished mostly aggro heavy decks more than anything else. I don't feel like Ramp Scout has really been affected here too much. I don't think Control has been affected all too much here as well, because Control Mage will still basically work the same way. And if you're playing a Control deck using Thieves of Dreams, it's I wouldn't think, you know, you still get into possibility of stealing another creatures. Why I say something like Ramp is not going to get too affected with this is because Throne Hiss Mage in this sense is not going to be able to get heavily traded with Thieves of Dreams, because Thieves of Dream was one of those things I hated seeing on turn 5 when I have to play out Throne Hiss Mage, because Thieves of Dream will have an easy way of getting rid of that card and I can't do anything about it. Now at a 4 with only 4 attack, well, now I know my Throne Hiss Mage is going to be able to survive. So as me is very much right now, my decks I'm playing the most is Orcs. So me as an Orc rank player, this doesn't affect me for nothing. Like, all these changes make no damn difference to me. My Orcs are still going to be hidden face just like they keep on doing like normal. But my Orc deck, I don't play Shield Breaker in it, so that's why I say this doesn't affect me. If you play Shield Breaker in your Orc, then that makes this means it's bad for you. But my Orcs just monsters to face, and that's it basically, and health. Thieves of Dreams though, where I think this is actually a bad change. Why is it for health? I think it would have been fine at a 4/5. I don't think it needed to drop down its health at all. I think a 4/5 for Thieves of Dream would be perfectly fine with its ability, because its ability is not something you guarantee you're gonna get the card. Yeah, maybe if you are in a situation where your opponent only has 1 card in there or 2 cards in their hands, and you know, at least that tells you what card. If you pick the wrong card, at least you know what card your opponent does have. It's great, but it's still a risky play. I don't think this was needed to drop down its health. Its attack, I'm okay. That I agree with. I think it was a little too powerful at 5, but its health, I think the 5 health was fine. I personally think it was 5. it's in a weird way, I'm like, it's gonna make it easier for me to play the game because I don't play with Thieves of Dream. This is not a card I personally play with in general. It's a card that I have to deal with. Now it's gonna make it a lot easier for me to deal with the card. But as somebody who understands that this game needs to be accessible to a lot of players, and a lot of players love this card a lot more than I do, it's like I could see a lot of players being very upset about this change. For me, it's a good thing playing wise because I'm gonna be able to kill it even a lot easier. But I could feel people's pain, and I definitely do feel like it doesn't need to be less health. So that's what's happening with these dreams. And let's talk about the other changes that are being implemented into the game that I think are actually absolutely great changes. So these are a set of cards that are getting powered up. Let's take a look. So these cards are all gaining an increase of 1 health. And excellent. These cards needed it. These cards needed the health boost right here, ladies. Cliffside Lookout was getting killed way too often. Way too often this card was getting taken out. So I definitely feel like this card needed, Cliffside Lookout needed that health boost to stay alive a little longer to get more valuable play. So that's going to be really cool interactions with that card and Dragonlance coming up. I'm glad to see that. Young Dragonborn. Can we finally start seeing Young Dragonborn slaying some dragons and getting powered up a lot more? This is going to encourage me to play Young Dragonborn more. I have a very shout-heavy scout deck right now, and I might, just for fun, I will take out, just for fun, remember, I'm just saying, I will take out Soul Tier, just for fun, casual now, and put in Young Dragonborn and just have some fun playing with her, see if I can't slay some dragons with her. This is just for fun stuff, but I'm definitely going to be making a lot of decks with Young Dragonborn now, because before I was just avoiding her because I'm like, your health at 2 was just not doing it for her. It just was not doing it. Not at all. On the 4/4 becoming a 4/5, I like that, especially with creatures that have Drain and work with Pilfer. One of the biggest things with Pilfer creatures, if they get creatures with Drain or Pilfer, man, if they don't have enough health, they get taken out so easily too early. So hopefully this card could stay on the field a little longer and actually gain his effect when a friendly creature Pilfers or Drains, gain that 1 magic of this turn. I think that's awesome, and I like that it could stay alive a little bit longer. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those have been the changes in a 6.6.1. Let me know what you guys think about them. Once again, I'm sorry about my voice being all raspy and disgusting. Sorry about that, but being sick is being sick. I'll be back with more Legends videos for you guys whenever cool news happens in Legends. Your opinions really matter. I think the most controversial changes definitely will be the Thieves of Dream. So let me know what you guys think about that. Soul Tier, let me know what you guys think about that. And Supreme Acromancer and Shieldbreaker. I think Supreme Acromancer and Shieldbreaker are the other two that's very interesting to talk about. I think Imprison, well, some people will be upset by it, but we will probably accept the Imprison change. No problem whatsoever at all. So let me know. Until next time, peace the heck out.